Announce the Pittsburgh Steelers selection. Please welcome from Brigham Young University, Pro Bowler, two-time Super Bowl champion, and 2011 Steelers Man of the Year, Brett Kiesel.
That's some jaunty stuff right there, man.
What's up, Nashville? Having fun? I'm honored to be here with the 83rd pick in the 2019 NFL Draft. The Pittsburgh Steelers select Justin Layne, DB, Michigan State.
Woo! Some people thought Justin Layne might go even higher than that. He's a former wide receiver, plays with excellent patience and poise, had a great battle versus N'Keal Harry. N'Keal Harry ended up getting the big one on him, but he was competitive in that game, Joel.
He was, and you talk about he used to be a wide receiver. He was actually a four-star wide receiver and played both as a true freshman before settling on corner. I think that this guy is a highly competitive, very sticky, comfortable, physical player. You got to be that if you're going to play for Mark D'Antonio on that defense, in particular into the boundary, which he was most of the time. A lot of short side field for Justin Layne, but this is the type of guy that understands how to cover.
And you know something? Know what his dad is?
Drafted Justin Layne out of Michigan State. Really like him and his potential. When I first saw him, thought he's real quick body, long arms, good ball skills, and very competitive. I think that's one thing that I think sticks out with him when you watch him. He's competitive. He's not afraid to throw it up in there. He'll tackle. He'll compete at the point of attack for a ball. So he's got a lot of good things to work with.
Terrell, is he a good fit in your sub packages? Can he play in that slot? How do you see him fit?
Right now, I think I see him more as an outside guy to start with. I think that in terms of learning and getting him ready, that'll be something that I'll do. And then we'll see what type of mental aptitude he has to handle everything that we do before we start talking about moving him inside.
I saw him play against N'Keal Harry. Did you see that, and what was your opinion? And was that one of his better games?
I did. I saw him play that game, and that's the one thing I thought that receiver is very good, and he competed well. He lost a couple, but that's going to happen when you're playing a guy that's that type of quality. But I was very pleased with his performance that game. He didn't back down. He didn't give an inch, and he just kept coming at it play after play.
What is it about a guy who's 6'2", I think he is, and that kind of speed? I mean, you saw him play wide receiver too.
Yeah.
Why does he last this long? What's the flaw in the ointment?
Well, I'm not sure what the flaw is. There's a lot of good football players that probably got picked before him. I think it's just a matter of flavor. And I think when we saw him sitting where he was, I'm very excited to have him. I didn't think he'd be around this long.
Coming into the draft, did you feel that you needed a cornerback within the first 2 days, personally?
Well, my opinion, and you're asking me, and I'm the defensive back coach, so I'm going to say you can't have enough corners on your team because of the amount of running they do. They help you on special teams. When they get nicked, you have to have people in there. You're going to play 4 and 5 receiver packages nowadays, so those guys are important. And I don't think you can ever have enough corners on your roster, and I think it's a chance to help us get better.
Y'all did not have a lot of takeaways even here last season. He didn't either. How do you account for that and trying to fit him in here?
Well, I think, again, when you look at the college passing game, they're not going to pass and the ball's not being thrown as much as they're going to see in our league. And I think with more opportunities, he's going to have an opportunity to get some interceptions. I think he has I'm comfortable with his ball skills after watching him play and talking to people and being at his workout. And I'm comfortable with where he is, and it's just a matter of him turning that into production at this level.
What was the most important cornerback trait you all were looking for in this draft when you evaluated all the corners?
Well, I think one of the things that you look for when you're evaluating cornerbacks, obviously you're looking for some size. You're looking for length, because when you start talking about a lot of these receivers that are being drafted, they're big men, and you have to be able to compete and win some 50-50 balls. You can't lose all those balls because you're too small and you can't get in there and win. So I think size, length, speed, and then ball skills I think are important because you have to be able to turn the ball over in this league. I think when you play good defense and you get the ball back for your offense, that makes you tough, really, really tough as a team.
Getting press help important as well?
Well, I think he can do it. Most of the guys in college, that's what they do. They press bail. The more important thing is teaching guys how to backpedal because they don't do that anymore in college or very much. So I think, again, all those things that I talked about, the size, the length, the speed, usually translate into guys being or having the ability to press.
You're in Ohio, Michigan, Western PA guy, and so is he. He's Cleveland and Michigan. Have you run across each other before this process at all in any way?
No, we did not.
Anyone else? I know you said you can never have enough corners, but do you see yourselves making some more additions in the secondary on day 3 here as we go forward?
That is not my call, but if we get competition in our room, I think it makes everybody in our room better, and if everybody in our room's better, our team's better, and that's really all I care about.
Well, Terrell, who's your Midwestern scout who's going to Michigan State, Toledo?
I think that's Danny Colbert.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Cougars have to go to the 48-yard line for first down. Walensky underneath, it's caught short of the first down. This time it's Patman with the reception, and the Cougars will punt it away.
Finished in the top 6 of the national polls from 2013 to 2015, number 3, number 5, and number 6 in those years.
And if they're able to hold on with 6:03 to go, Coach D, 100 wins.
How about
pretty
that?
good?
That is so good. And you know what? There's so much that goes into that. He's had the most consistent honor to work with our entire crew. He does a great job each and every week. Cold weather, great pictures, great sound. It's an honor to work with each and every week.
Welcome back inside the UPMC Rooney Sports Complex, everybody. The Steelers drafting at number 83, a defensive back from Michigan State, Justin Layne. In case if you were wondering, Mike Prisuta is here. He's breathing, he's living, and he is excited about this pick for the Steelers, their second of the night on day 2 of the draft. So Prisuta, without further ado, take it away.
Is there an echo in here? I mean, we were on, 10 minutes ago, and I was talking about Julian Love or Justin Layne is still being on the board when the Steelers made their first third-round pick. And in Justin Layne, a bit of a developmental corner. He went to Michigan State initially as a wide receiver. Then they switched him to cornerback, but they had some injury issues, and he has periodically played some wide receiver while playing corner. The real attractive part of Layne's resume is his size. He is 6'1" and 192 pounds. He can play press man. He can play zone. And he really developed nicely this past year. 72 tackles, 16 passes defense, and an interception. Justin Layne did not play in Michigan State's bowl game. I wish I could have skipped it. Things really degenerated this year in East Lansing from an offensive standpoint. They had a ton of injuries. They basically couldn't get anything done. There was a lot of pressure on that defense to excel, to not get scored on if they were going to have a chance, and Justin Layne was knee-deep in that. Daniel Jeremiah of the NFL Network talked about him at the Combine in terms of his ability to read and understand the passing game from a DB standpoint, having played in the passing game from a wide receiver standpoint. According to Jeremiah, quote, he's patient, and that's underrated. He doesn't take the cheese, which means he doesn't get set up and go for the first move. He is aggressive. He will break on the ball, jump routes. He's an intriguing player, and it's a position that the Steelers felt, or I should say we felt, they needed to address. They did that in unrestricted free agency with Steven Nelson, and now they've done that again with Justin Layne. Dane Brugler, a guy I've talked about a lot the last couple of days in his draft analysis. He says overall Layne needs continued reps at corner to improve his technique and spacing, but he can mirror and match from press coverage and has outstanding ball skills, projecting as an eventual starter in the NFL. I would concur on all of that, Missy.
All right, and again, Justin Layne right now is on the phone with the Pittsburgh media upstairs. Whenever we get word that the press conference will be taking place, we will be bringing that to you live here on this program. But just a little fun fact, non-Michigan State related, he did go to Chuck Noll's alma mater. He is from Cleveland, Ohio, Benedict High School.
Benedictine, right?
Yeah, Benedictine, I'm sorry. I have a friend who works in the Cleveland TV market, and he is at Justin Layne's house. Just tweeted out a picture of him putting on his Steelers hat, taking off his Cleveland Browns socks. So I guess he's done being a Browns fan. He is a Pittsburgh Steeler.
You know, that's a great fun fact, and it's also significant, I think, you know, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, that Northeast corridor football country. We heard Devin Bush talking about he and Ryan Shazier, both from Florida. The Florida guys are fast guys, right? The Pittsburgh guys, the Cleveland guys, they're tough guys. So you get one from column A and one from column B. Draft progressing nicely so far, Missy.
And we should also mention, just like earlier with Deontay Johnson, he was a pre-draft visit here in Pittsburgh. So another guy, I'm sure, once we get to the press conference and hear more about the Steelers interaction, but another guy they felt good about bringing in here to Pittsburgh. So I actually see that the Steelers' new addition to their coaching staff, Terrell Austin, is walking into the press conference room. So we're going to head upstairs to bring you a live press conference. Nice to hear from Coach Austin, a new addition, as I said. In pursuit, I didn't even get to ask you what he was talking about at the end. Devin Bush and Justin Layne, now teammates.
Yes, and that's the way it works. Cam Hayward and Devin Bush, now teammates. He put that stuff aside at this level, and everybody pulls the rope in the same direction. Just a couple takes on Terrell Austin's press conference regarding Justin Layne. Potential, he said, potential. This kid has a cornerback body and a cornerback skill set. You heard the question, is he going to play inside, maybe be a slot guy? I'm not projecting him in terms of what he's going to do for the defense this season. I think he can help them on special teams. I think he'll tackle people. I think he will compete, and he will learn how to be a better cornerback at the NFL level. But the depth element is important, and if they can mold this guy for a period of time, who knows when he's going to be called upon, injuries, or you never know what can happen. But it's a significant lump of clay, as Carnell Lake might have said, to mold. And in the meantime, help you out in the kicking game. Look at him coming up and making aggressive tackles. He's a tough kid, and he's going to compete the way the Steelers expect their DBs to compete.
Absolutely. And to take your point about special teams with him, even with Deontay Johnson, we heard it even last night, Kevin Colbert saying about Devin Bush. He is going to be an immediate starter on special teams. I think whether you want any of these guys to make an immediate impact on what they're supposed to do on offense or defense, I think it's fair to say the Steelers really need improvement on special teams as they get ready and head into 2019. And these are guys that can step right into that role.
Yeah, they're telling us that today, kind of, aren't they?
Absolutely.
Maybe not kind of. Maybe.
I think it's very clear that they're working.
They don't kind of need help.
Yes.
They need help both in getting the other guys on the ground and in advancing the football toward the end zone. So they're checking some boxes here, and still a lot of draft left, Missy.
There is. Tomorrow, of course, is going to be the big day for the Steelers. A draft pick will be coming out of the 4th round, 1 out of the 5th, 3 in the 6th round, and then a 7th round pick. So we will not be breaking down each one because they're going to be happening so quickly, but every press conference after every pick will be streamed live here as always. So
I'll still be sitting here looking at the camera.
Yeah, you're not leaving, you said.
No.
You're here till training camp. We're going to have
I'm
to
go to training camp. And
well,
then,
that's what I'm saying. We're going to physically have to move you to Latrobe.
Just pick this whole
from
thing
here.
up, and I'll have the same green.
I call dibs on that, too.
I know I wore this green tie for a reason today.
Ah, you were onto something today. You were onto something.
Not my first draft.
All right, so again, today on Friday, day 2 of the draft, the Steelers taking a wide receiver, Deontay Johnson, out of Toledo, and then a defensive back out of Michigan State, Justin Layne. So
that is kind of crazy, dude. Michigan, Cleveland, Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Danny Colbert earning his keep.
For sure.
Got a nice shot out there.
He did by Coach Austin. So thank you so much for joining us on Thursday and tonight. It is fun as always, an exciting time for the Steelers as they bring in new guys and prepare to start the 2019 season. So don't forget to tune in. Hey, good job too by you.
This is fun.
All weekend long for the rest of our draft coverage. We will have tons of it for you. That's it from the UPMC Rooney Sports Complex. Have a great night, everybody.
Justin, what's going on? Mike Tomlin, Pittsburgh Steelers. How you doing? You in Cleveland, Ohio tonight? We shouldn't have any problem getting you over here tomorrow at some point then, man. You ready to be a Pittsburgh Steeler? All right. Hey, congratulations to you. Keep your ears open, man. We got a couple people that want to welcome you and talk some business and planning here in the next 24 to 48 hours, all right? Man, congratulations to you and your family. We can't wait to get started.